This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Gitsky. Governor Gavin Newsom is streaming live every day at noon to give an update on the coronavirus crisis here in our state. Today, he will be talking about the state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we'll bring him to you as soon as he becomes available. The California Highway Patrol has closed Highway 58 between Highway 184 and hazardous material spill. CHP says it all started around 9:15 this morning with a semi-truck on fire. The semi was carrying recycled lithium-ion batteries, which could easily catch fire and explode. Officers immediately started closing the highway. Both eastbound and westbound traffic is being diverted to alternative routes. You are asked to avoid the area. Businesses and residents within a half mile were asked to evacuate. CHP says it is unclear how long that closure will remain in place. Well, now to the latest on the coronavirus here in Kern County. One more person has died from COVID-19, bringing the death toll to 5. About 2 hours ago, Kern Public Health announced 19 new cases of COVID-19, 837 total. 428 people have made full recoveries. More than 6,000 tests for COVID-19 have come back negative, although results are still pending for nearly 3,600 others. Now, here's a look at where these cases are spread across Kern County. The area known as Bakersfield East, which includes Lamont and Arvin, has the most cases at 444, but it also has the biggest population by more than 100,000 people. Now, people living in the Lake Isabella area have reached out to us saying that they are frustrated after hundreds of visitors ignored social distancing guidelines this weekend. They are especially concerned for their older residents, saying grocery stores were packed with shoppers, ignoring safety measures such as wearing a mask. Jerry Hornstein says she talked to local authorities about that issue.
You know, you've got these signs saying campground closed due to COVID-19. People are ignoring it. They're coming here with no masks on. Very frustrated.
According to Hornstein, it appeared as though those enjoying the warm weather by the lake were not from the area. Residents say they're concerned this will continue to be an ongoing issue as temperatures rise. Now, across California, the city council in Newport Beach is considering a temporary shutdown of the beach there. That's after a busy weekend along the shore. A heat wave has been sending Californians to the ocean. The city council is set to discuss the coronavirus-related measure tomorrow. Now, it would close the beach for 3 weekends and might also shut down roads leading to it. And protesters lined the beachfront in San Diego yesterday amid growing frustration over social distancing guidelines. Waving posters and American flags, organizers called it a day of liberty to open our beaches. San Diego Mayor Kevin Falconer said San Diego will reopen ocean access within its borders today following county guidelines. But officials in nearby Solona and Beach and Del Mar say their beaches will remain closed because of the pandemic. And San Diego County boating will not be allowed, but some water sports like surfing, kayaking, and swimming will be okay. California officials point out that their aggressive stay-at-home orders have proven effective in flattening the curve. Well, packed lakes and beaches is the subject of today's 17th interactive poll. We've been asking, should California lakes and beaches remain closed during the stay-at-home order? Nearly 50%, 500 of you have voted so far. 56% of you have said yes, and 44% of you have said no. Now, here's a look at some of your comments. One viewer texted us this comment: yes, we are not out of the woods yet. Lake Isabella looked like a floodgate had opened. Even the motorhomes weren't 6 feet apart. And Angela Valencia Boyle says, leave them alone. Let people live their lives. Test more, for crying out loud. The more you complain, the more they close things. Now, there is still time for you to weigh in. Call or text 888-4617. Now, press 1 if you think California beaches and lakes should remain closed. 2 if not. You can also tweet, email, or Facebook your comments, and we will keep this poll going all day long, and we will have the results and more comments coming up tonight on 17 News at 5. Stay with us. We're back after this.
Welcome back on this Monday afternoon, and after a very nice and warm weekend, we're going to pull temperatures back a little bit today, but still lots of sunshine. In fact, out here in the southwest, we had a nice little breeze a few minutes ago. It was really nice, even though we're starting to warm things up a little bit. Let's take you outside. In Arvin right now, we're under clear skies, 79 degrees, so starting to warm up there. As we take it out near Wasco, 78 and sunny. And up in the mountains, so look at that, Frazier Park, beautiful blue skies and 66, and Golden Hills looking also very nice as we start out the afternoon. Currently 65, 79 in Bakersfield at this time with a west-northwest at 16. So I talked about that little breeze I saw here in the southwest, and we're seeing it out at Meadows Field too, and that is nice to see, especially when temperatures are in the 80s. Overnight we're at 60, so above our normal of 53. Normal high today, 78, will be above that. 98, the record set back in 2004, and our sunset tonight will be at 7:40. We're running into the mid-70s out in Buttonwillow right now. Delano at 70, and then we've got 60s and 70s in the mountains. Tehachapi 64, 74 for Lake Isabella, and quite warm out of Ridgecrest at 87 right now. And we're not expecting any rain into our area for at least the next 7 days, maybe even longer than that. But we were a little cooler today because of a trough that's moving through out of the north. It's a dry trough bringing some high clouds into northern California, but that's about it. But it's helped with our temperatures and also with our breeze. As we take a look at the regional forecast today, 76 in Sacramento, 86 in Fresno, 81 in Los Angeles, where we find the heat is 90 in Vegas, and Phoenix, Arizona for the west is the warm spot at 101 today. Now the beaches, I know we've been practicing social distancing, so not a lot of people along our beaches, but still very nice. I want to show you the forecast. 76, UV index is high, and a little bit of a breeze today out of the northeast, 10 to 20. The overall pattern, we've got this ridge. It weakened a little bit with that trough that I was talking about, but it will rebound again for Tuesday and Wednesday, and that means another 90-degree day. No rain headed our way. In fact, some moderate rain could be heading into the Pacific Northwest by late Saturday into Sunday. Your air quality today, the high allergen, the tree, and moderate for grass and ragweed. And today, here's your forecast. Sunny skies and 84 in Bakersfield, 85 in Delano, 82 in Taft, and then for the mountains today, keeping that breeze around, 68 in Frazier Park, 69 in Tehachapi, 70s to lower 80s into the Kern River Valley, and the desert, sunny and 82 in Mojave, the hot spot 92 in Ridgecrest. So tomorrow, 90 and 93 on Wednesday, but then we cooled things back down for the weekend with upper 70s to lower 80s, and then for the mountains, lower 80s Tuesday and Wednesday, and then cooler for the weekend, also a little bit breezy Friday and Sunday for you, and then for the Kern River Valley, upper 80s tomorrow and Wednesday, and then back into those 70s as we approach the weekend. So overall, not a bad forecast. Hope you have a great day, and we'll send it over to Nicole right after a break.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
In your 17 Business Watch, some seniors will soon be eligible to get their prescriptions delivered by drone. More than 135,000 residents of the Villages, the largest retirement community in the U.S., will become eligible for drone delivery of prescriptions. It begins next week through a partnership between CVS and UPS. The goal is to allow seniors at high risk of coronavirus to get medicines and other items they need without leaving their home during the crisis. Now, new data obtained by CNBC shows sales of newly built homes have been bouncing back over the last 2 weeks. Demand is primarily coming from current renters in apartments. This comes on the heels of data released last week by Zillow showing increased interest in searches of all homes. These are the first real numbers from the builders, which could move their stocks higher. Now, every Monday, we are taking the time to take a deep breath during this crazy time. What can we do to continue to have positivity going around and continue it even after the pandemic? Stay with us. So much uncertainty to everyone. 26 million Americans are now unemployed, and a lot of people are feeling discouraged. Robin Robinson, the pastor for CityServe Kern County, shares some positivity for the community during this Mindful Monday.
Well, I think the big thing is just to embrace the moment, Maddie, and really be mindful. I love that word that we've used on these Monday morning shows because that means to be, conscientious, to be aware, to be alert. And I think that's what has caused a lot of people to kind of change the way that they just go through each day. they're looking and they're seeing their neighbors, which is really, really important. And I think just embracing the moment in the middle of this time, and it is crazy. I mean, 26 million Americans, crazy that people, and even Kern County, how many people have lost their jobs. But the one thing we do still have is we have one another, and we have an ability to help each other. And it's so much easier. I think I've seen people go through really hard times when you do something for someone else. You know, Philippians 2:4, it says this: don't just be interested in your own life, but be interested in the lives of others. And that's really, you know, just a way to spur us on to doing the good works that we can to help one another. So I would just say in the middle of it, you know, let's embrace the moment, even though it seems negative. I believe, and I have seen so much positivity come out of just our own community, story after story of people who have helped people. And I think it helps us stay more focused ourselves and not be consumed by the negative of 26 million people losing their jobs. But in other words, we embrace this moment and we say we're gonna help each other and keep focused on the positive.
Sometimes the problem feels so big that it feels like I want to help, but I don't know how. It feels just too big. Do you have some simple suggestions, some simple ways that you can help your neighbor or someone who's hurting?
Well, I think number one is be aware. Be conscientious of the people around you that you have normally seen and maybe just you've sped by their house and waved. Drive a little slower. Look for somebody. Make some phone calls. Be sure that the people in your circle, if everybody does that, then everybody's going to be cared for. Give to a bank or a food outreach. Be a part of an outreach. We can still do that, even though we have masks and gloves and we have social distancing. There are ways that people can connect. They can do that through CityServe, but there are many, many other organizations doing great things in our community. But I think trying to focus on how you can do small things. We're doing a program with seniors. Could you pick up a box and just drop it on a senior's porch and wave at them through the window? There's so many ways, but from the very smallest, checking on your neighbor, checking on your friends, to checking on your community and being sure that you're engaged somewhere to help somebody during this time.
Now, Bakersfield Police and fire departments are working to recover the body of a hiker they believe may have been killed in a rock slide. This happened around 7:45 last night in the foothills southwest of California Living Museum. Police got a call from hikers saying there was a rock slide and someone may have been trapped underneath falling rocks. Now, police searched the area and found a dead man. Crews say they had to call off the recovery efforts last night because it was too dark and the terrain was too difficult. Now, that death is under investigation. And Bakersfield police are investigating a suspicious death after a body was found in an alleyway downtown. Police responded to 20th and F Streets for reports of a body. That man was pronounced dead, and BPD is calling his death suspicious because of trauma that was found on his body. The Kern County Coroner's Office will determine the cause of death and identify that man. Anyone with any information is asked to contact BPD at 327-7111. Well, now in your Crime Watch, sheriff's deputies are investigating a shooting that killed a 19-year-old man in Lamont. KCSO says they got a call about someone who had been shot around 5:30 last night. They responded to Fuller Drive in Lamont, where they found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Deputies say they may have gotten information about a possible suspect involved in that shooting, but they have not yet specified whether they've arrested anyone. Now, if you have any information about this shooting, you are asked to contact KCSO at 861-3110. And the man accused of attacking a homeless woman is set to appear in court this afternoon. Now, you may remember Bakersfield police arrested 23-year-old Anthony Lewis Jr. Now, during March and April, BPD says Lewis attacked 3 women. All 3 survived. The latest attack happened last Tuesday night. Surveillance cameras caught the suspect near 19th and O Streets, where one of the victims was attacked. He now faces 3 counts of attempted murder and other charges. Now, he is set to be arraigned in a little less than an hour at 1:30. Now, happening today, a local healthcare facility wants to help you and your family stay at home while the stay-at-home orders remain in effect. Today, Bakersfield Behavioral Healthcare Hospital is handing out free activity packets for adults and kids. The hospital says people might be feeling restless, anxious, or even depressed during this time of isolation, and engaging in family activities together can help with mental health. Now, you can drive by the Bakersfield Behavioral Healthcare Hospital on White Lane anytime between now and 2 this afternoon. The hospitals also will stay open 24/7 to help those who might be struggling with mental health or addiction concerns. Now, the Fox Theater Foundation says you can now add your own message to the theater's iconic marquee, all for just a donation. Since the stay-at-home orders have forced the closure of places like the Fox Theater, the foundation came up with the Marquee Inspired program. Marquee Inspired will allow community members to place their message on display on the marquee for 24 hours. The theater says it's looking to keep it fun, so it will shy away from potentially controversial messages. The Marquee Inspired program will help pay for essential theater bills during this pandemic. Now, the first message will be displayed as of today. And today, Kern Dance Alliance will hold an online dance class. Because of the coronavirus, KDA suspended all in-person programs. KDA launched a new program, KDA Cares COVID-19 Support. It's an initiative aimed at supporting dance and the arts in Kern County. The program encourages kids to get up and move during the pop-up digital dance class. Now, the class will start at 2 this afternoon, and you can find that link to their site on our site at kget.com. And teachers with a local school district may soon be heading back to their classrooms. A spokesperson with Panama Buena Vista Union School District says there was a plan in place to have teachers come back to their classrooms over the next few weeks to pick up curriculum and student belongings that may have been left behind. The plan is to stagger when teachers will head back to continue practicing social distancing. Now, each school will develop a plan to return those belongings to students. Now, we do have Governor Gavin Newsom, and once again, he is providing an update on the state's response to the coronavirus here in California. Let's take a listen in and hear what he has to say.
But stabilized it. We have made real progress in this state over the course of the last number of weeks. And that's why I want to just confront the topic that is top of mind. And those are the images we saw over the weekend, the images down in Orange County and Ventura County on our beaches. Those images are an example of what not to see, people, what not to do if we're going to make the meaningful progress that we've made in the last few weeks extend into the next number of weeks. The reality is we are just a few weeks away, not months away, from making measurable and meaningful changes to our stay-at-home order. That is a very optimistic point to emphasize. However, that's driven by data. It's driven by behavior. And as we change our behavior, we can impact the science, the health, and the data. This virus doesn't take the weekends off. This virus doesn't go home because it's a beautiful sunny day around our coasts. The likelihood of having a virus-free world is not realistic in the next number of months. We'll look forward to that day as herd immunity comes into effect and we have a vaccine that we can distribute and make available to hundreds of millions of people across this country, billions around the rest of the globe. Until then, we have to manage it. We have to manage risks. We have to manage and augment our behavior. And that's why I cannot impress upon you more to those Californians watching that we can't see the images like we saw, particularly on Saturday in Newport Beach and elsewhere in the state of California. Look, I'm not naive. The overwhelming majority of our coastline was appropriately advanced, meaning the stay-at-home orders were advanced, the physical distancing, the social distancing on those beaches was appropriate. You didn't see those images in L.A. beaches and San Diego beaches and Northern California around San Mateo County, up further north towards Eureka, because we had strong guidelines that were not only adopted, but were abided by. And we had local partners that supported those efforts and helped create the conditions on those hard park closures that allowed people to continue to conduct themselves appropriately. Unfortunately, there were these exceptions on Saturday in particular, a little less so on Sunday, and we've got to confront that. And I'm encouraged. I want to acknowledge that Newport Beach. I want to acknowledge their city council. I want to acknowledge the County Board of Supervisors in Orange County. I'm told they are looking to consider some augmentations and some more deliberative engagement to address the conditions and those concerns that were highlighted over the course of the weekend. But I want folks to know this as well. We're doing the same at the state level. The California Highway Patrol with our State Parks Patrol with other partners, and we will avail ourselves to more aggressive enforcement of the stay-at-home order, of the social distancing, of the guidelines and procedures that we expect to be followed all across the state of California. I deeply respect localism. I deeply respect local decision-making. I deeply respect the work that elected officials do all up and down this state of all political stripes. And I recognize your anxiety, and I recognize the pressures. As a former county supervisor, as a former mayor, I understand those local pressures intimately. And I deeply understand the broader public sentiment about their need to get some clarity, get some confidence that we'll go back to whatever modified sense of normalcy that we hope to see, that we'll see that advanced sooner than later. But I cannot impress upon people more. The only thing that will set us back is our behavior. The only thing that will set us back is people stopping to practice physical distancing and appropriate social distancing. That's the only thing that's going to slow down our ability to reopen this economy, our ability to adapt and modify this stay-at-home order. As I said, weeks, not months. If the data continues to be as stable as it has been over the course of the last few weeks, the only thing that can stop that is more images, again, like we saw over this weekend. So I'm looking forward to working with those local government agencies, working much more aggressively on the enforcement side, and continue to believe that we have remarkable capacity in the state to stabilize this curve and make the kind of modifications that all of us are eager to make. Again, none more eager than I am. And I just want to extend to that point. Tomorrow, we will be laying out more detail. Last week, on Wednesday, we laid out details on one of our 6 indicators. That was on the issues of testing, on tracing, on tracking, on social isolation that is done with an economic justice framework and the issues around quarantine. Tomorrow, we're going to break down the number 5 indicator, which goes to our business environment, goes to schools and child care facilities and the like. And again, the hope and expectation is that we'll be in a position in a number of weeks to make meaningful modifications. But again, the data will guide that. The indicators will guide that. And the only thing that can disrupt that, to set us back, to slow down our capacity to start to reopen our economy, is behavior that's inconsistent with the statewide guidelines. So I just want to make that clear up top. And again, just want to thank all the incredible work that was done over the weekend by parks and by our public partners and by large cities that really conducted themselves appropriately and truly did justice to the guidelines that not only they set locally, but that the state of California has set. And we'll have a little work to do to improve upon Saturday in particular, but I'm confident that we can do so. And again, look forward to robust conversations this week in that respect. Also am very honored that we had some robust conversations with state of Nevada and the state of Colorado over the last week. And those 2 states have joined our Western States Coalition. In addition to Colorado and to Nevada, of course, the partnership that was formed a few weeks back with Washington State and Oregon. This now allows all 5 states to begin to work even more closely and more collaboratively. I must say it is a wonderful thing when chiefs of staff, all the governors get on the phone and are comparing and contrasting best practices in real time, are sharing data, sharing information. This partnership has already become very, very meaningful. And I just again want to extend my deep gratitude to Mayor Brown, Mayor Inslee, to Mayor Sisolak, and to Mayor Polis, or rather Governors Polis, Sisolak, Inslee, and Brown for their outstanding leadership and their support in this broader Western States agenda. Also want to update you just briefly on a new strategy that we'll also be employing in terms of getting to the next phase as it relates to meaningful modifications of our stay-at-home order. As you may know, a few weeks back, we announced a new economic advisory body, a new recovery body with some of the best and the brightest minds we can source in the state of California that are advising us on our recovery efforts, short-term, medium, and long-term strategies, long-term around reinventing, reimagining the future. One of the conversations that came out of this task force was the importance of breaking down by sector. We're certainly looking regionally in the state, but also looking by sector and really drilling down on the specific and unique needs of every sector of our economy. In an effort to further that cause and to do so with some transparency, we're inviting the press and others in on a series of digital roundtables that I'll be hosting with leaders in small businesses, medium and large businesses by sector, also bringing in customers and bringing in experts from our advisory committee to help guide the conversations, to really start to break down not just broad strokes, hospitality or retail, but by type of retail, by type of sector within the broader sector of hospitality, bars, restaurants, and the unique nature of dining experiences with tablecloths, without tablecloths, and the issues of bars and restaurants that are combined, issues of different types of licenses and different types of retail, those that could do curbside pickup, those that aren't necessarily afforded that because of the way their physical construction works. Are they in a shopping mall, or are they with multiple other businesses, or on their second floor? All of these things will be broken down, and we'll start to socialize those conversations starting tomorrow, again, bringing the press into those digital roundtables. And again, it's not just about the immediacy of working to get specific language on
now, you just heard the latest from Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, he is talking about some of the concerning images that we have seen over the weekend of the LA packed beaches. Now, he was saying that he expects everyone to follow those stay-at-home orders. If not, this is just going to set us back even further. Our behavior determines when we can reopen, and we are determined to reopen as soon as we can once data and our behavior meet those guidelines. Now, Governor Newsom also mentioned that tomorrow he will be breaking down the number 5 indicator that is regarding businesses and child care, and that will happen tomorrow. Now, you can continue watching Governor Newsom's whole live stream on our website, kget.com.
This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.